feel free to, like, you can turn off your mics, you can turn off your cameras, and or you can drop and then you can catch up on the recording later on, but then just to let you be informed. Because we would love for this session to be as interactive as possible, we highly encourage you to please turn on your cameras. We want to see your beautiful faces, right? So please interact with us via the chat section with mics muted, of course. And, if you have any questions as we proceed, you can always drop it in the chat, right? And we will get to a point where we'd actually open the floor for questions, so you can unmute your mics, ask your questions, and then we just want this to be as interactive as possible. So please, can we see some beautiful faces? Don't worry if you haven't, like, baited or something like that. It's all good. It's all good. We're not going to judge. We don't judge. So yeah, and then of course, really important, would appreciate if you can follow us on our social media platforms. Rachel would show you, like, we have the the codes in here, so you can always scan the QR codes. Follow us on LinkedIn, follow us on X, and just let's keep the platform growing. Let's share with our friends, our families, and especially with what's happening today, right? We're trying to really make as much awareness as possible, let people know what you're involved in, right? Carry your community along as you progress, right? So yes, please follow us on social media platform. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's session. And of course, like we said earlier, if you have any questions at all, please drop them in the chat. We're happy to respond to them. And yeah, so just a quick poll question, right? What social media platform at the moment would you say you use to promote your professional brand? So LinkedIn, X, none at the moment. Like, yeah, you can just answer it via the poll. Oh, okay. Ogoma said LinkedIn. Can everyone see the poll though?
Yeah, yes, I can.
Okay. So you can always answer via the poll, but then dropping it in the chat is fine as well. Okay. So while we're getting responses on that, let's just go straight into it. Our agenda for today. So yeah, over to you, Rachel, to walk us through our agenda for the day.
Yeah, okay. Hi, everyone. Happy March 1st and happy weekend also. So our agenda for today, we are going to be discussing about who Platform Explorers is. So welcome to the community. It's amazing to have every one of us here. If we can all turn on our cameras, the reason for this is just so that we can connect, because there's a difference between a physical meetup and a visual meetup. So right now we are not seeing you. We can see your lovely faces. So we just want to create that connection between us and the community. So if you can just turn on your camera, that would be really, 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 really nice. Yeah, okay. So our agenda for today, we're just going to be discussing about who we are, who Platform Explorer is. We're going to be discussing about confidence. We're also going to be talking about the Microsoft 365 Developer Program. If you filled the form to join the Platform Explorers cohorts, you would have seen a question where we asked if you have a Microsoft 365 developer account, because it's one of the criteria of joining the first cohort. And then we are going to be talking about GitHub. We are going to be talking about GitHub, how we are going to be using GitHub, because that is what we are going to be using throughout the cohorts. Like, because we are trying to bridge the gap between theoretical experience, that is what you have been reading, building on your own, and then having an industry experience. Because there's something that I have noticed, and Joanne, we have noticed that the learning alone and working in the industry, it's quite different. Like, there's a very big gap there. So we just want to help you fulfill that gap, so that when you go to an interview, you'll be very confident with your interviewer to answer questions. And we also want to help you that when you get that first job, you'll be very confident with completing your tasks. So that is the aim. That is what we are trying to solve. And yes, okay. And also, we are going to be talking about the first cohort because Platform Explorers was created this year. So we are going to be talking about the first cohorts. We're going to be talking about what we are going to be doing, the criteria to join, because we have filled the form. We're going to tell you when, for those who have registered for the first cohort, when you'll be getting an email and the criteria that would be used for you to join that first cohort. Okay, so just going to go ahead to the next slide. So hi, John.
Yeah, so just before I proceed, a bit of introduction, right? I think it would be great just to introduce ourselves at this point.
Yeah.
So I'll start, right? Hello, everyone, once again. My name is Juan Idowu. I'm actually a technical specialist, a digital technology specialist at Microsoft Ireland. Um, my job really is to, I'm the face of like Microsoft to our clients in terms of understanding their, business problems, understanding their security needs, and then pitching the value of Microsoft solution to those clients, right? So I've been with Microsoft for about 3-4 months now. Prior to joining Microsoft, I did work with Avanade Ireland. I actually moved to Ireland to, start the job, right? So, and then I've been along this career path for about 9 years plus now. So, and then I know the value of community, which is one of the reasons that like Rachel and I connected in terms of this, creating platform explorers. So because community has helped me in a lot of ways, right? And either that is by, connecting to sessions such as this, actively and proactively, participating, or volunteering, contributing to, community sessions and all of that. So I'm really excited to be having, like, to be here with you all, to be having this session at the moment. And thank you, Cynthia, for turning on your camera. Okay, over to you, Rachel.
Yeah, so hi everyone. My name is Rachel Irabor. I'm in Malta. I am a Power Platform and a Dynamics 365 CRM developer. I relocated to Malta due to my current job, and that was in 2022. I was in Nigeria. I'm Nigerian. So I relocated immediately. I finished school. That is the same week I finished my exams. I relocated to Malta to work in my current role. And that was all possible with the community, with everything that the community has been doing for me, from being a student from being a student, not knowing what the future was. I was just in school. I did not know what to do. I was in my final year. I actually had no idea what is the next step. I just had no idea until when I found tech, like because I'm in Power Platform. So until when I found Power Platform, and that is when my career started. Just the community, joining the community, learning like this, being able to learn about Power Platform, different other technology, connecting with people in the community. That is how I got to this. I'm still growing, but that is how I've gotten to this point I'm in right now. And throughout my growth, I've been working on my technical skills, I've been working on my soft skills, and also I've been connecting with lovely people like Johan, where we are building this community to actually help others, because we have noticed this gap that okay, this is what is happening, this is what people are facing. So how can we solve this particular problem where a person can just go to, because the job market right now is so difficult. Like even for those who are very experienced, the job market is difficult, to talk less of people who are just starting out their careers. So we are trying to help out to make you confident in your role, to make you confident in that interview, and to also build your experience in whatsoever career you are in. Yeah, so thank you. Okay.
All right, thank you. So now I would give us a brief, like a quick run through or rundown of Platform Explorers, and then, how we like what we aim to achieve, although like Rachel has already sort of broken that down or summarized it anyways. So Rachel, if you could please go to the next page.
Yeah.
Thank you. So like Rachel said, Platform Explorers is fairly new. We just founded it in January 2025, and then it was based on like a joint vision by Rachel and I, right? So we both realized that we connected on the fact that we wanted to give back to the community in our own little way. Um, we wanted to create a platform where people could, connect, where people could ask questions, where people could really understand what it is like or what it feels like to be in the workspace, right? Not
Yeah.
just to get the technical skills, but then actually understand like the soft skills required to succeed in your role, especially if you're looking at becoming a consultant, if you're looking at, going into like an advisory, not just, the actual technical implementation, but then how do you manage customers? How do you manage expectations, manage your team, and all of that? So we both resonated on the fact that there is a difference between learning new technical skills in the classroom or online and actually applying those skills to real world scenarios. I mean, when I started my career, I remember at some point, so I started as a technical support intern, right, at a company called Descasio Limited in Lagos, Nigeria. They're a Microsoft partner. And then I remember like I actually did not know anything with regards to like the Microsoft technology. But the fact that I had a team that was able to like put me through, and they would literally like, oh, okay, go research on this thing. And then if I fail at it, they're like, okay, yeah, this is what you could have done better, and all of that. And that period, I did not really realize that I was being groomed to like be able to, pass that knowledge across to other people and to be able to independently work, right? So despite getting like foundational knowledge, a lot of individuals struggle with like the real life project experience. And I would say I was just lucky to have started my career with a team that was already doing like the actual projects, right? Some people would just like, okay, after school, we want to learn a new tech skill. I sign up for a course on Coursera or LinkedIn Learning or what have you. And then you're done with your learning. What next? You're like, okay, how do I now tailor this learning experience to actual life, experiences and all of that? How am I able to fit all of this and speak about it at interviews, right? So now they enter into job interviews and then you feel like a bit like you lack the confidence to really push what you have learned because there's no solid like the foundation, and then the confidence that's required to pass across your message is not really there. So this is what inspired us to start Platform Explorers. If we can go to the next page, please. Now, our motto is, Rachel actually came up with this, and I was like, oh, this is brilliant. From basics to breakthrough, right? Building confidence, experience, and careers. And this just simply, reflects exactly what we're trying to achieve, right? Because we're like, we want to just address those concerns, address those, issues, and then help you to build that confidence as you embark on your career journeys. So, and then this involves like the way we want to carry this out, or the way we see this is, we get you involved with like industry experts, people who are already in, in the workspace, right? People who have the years of experience, even if it's not like necessarily so long doing that same thing, but then they already have the experience in the workspace and they can help to address your concerns. They give you actual real life projects or simulation of real life projects that then get you thinking. And the idea is we're not going to be doing hand holding, because the truth is in the real workspace you would find out that your manager assigns you a project and says, okay, this is a client's concern, you can brainstorm and all of that. And then you're asked to go do your research to actually, go out there, find out how you can solve that problem, probably do like some tests in your environment, and then come back with, if you have a question, if you have a challenge, or if you found a solution, right? So we aim to host training sessions for up to 30 participants per cohort, and this will be spread across our different our different areas of focus, right? And these sessions would focus on really understanding each participant's experience and areas of improvement, right? So we'll be assigning project tasks, reviewing CVs, providing job application tips, and also mock interviews. The reason why we see the need for the mock interviews is the idea is we would have one just at the beginning of a cohort to see where you are at the moment, right? This would be conducted like, you don't need to be scared. It's not like, oh, okay, an actual panel, right? It's going to be more like group interview sessions, right? And we want to see how proactive you are, right? Because it's not just about, even if you do not have the real work experience, you need to want, that success in your career, right? So even if you find yourself in a setting where, yes, you don't have all of the knowledge, but then you are still proactive, you're still like, okay, even the little I know, I want to like confidently step up and try to contribute as much as possible, right? So we want to see how you perform at these mock interviews before we then proceed into the actual sessions. And then at the end of the session, we wrap it up with like follow-up interviews to see, okay, this is where you were when you started and this is where you are now, right? So, and like we said, the goal of this is really to boost participants' confidence for interviews and then help you build a reliable professional network, because your network really is everything, right? So help you build that professional network as you embark on your new job. So now Rachel will speak a bit about our mission and then our
Yeah.
vision.
Yeah, thank you so much. So John has mentioned like almost everything that we are all about, that Platform Explorers is. So our mission is just we're trying to bridge that gap where you are confident, because it's so difficult starting your first job. And I'm definitely speaking from experience because my current role is my first official job. So being able to work with people, being able to collaborate with a team, because when you join a company or when you join a business, especially a big company, you are being placed into, for a project, you are being placed into a team that you have to work with. So being able to discuss what you are doing, being able to accomplish a task, and also being able to describe when you are being asked, like, okay, Rachel, this is a task that has been given to you. Can you explain what you are doing? It sounds simple, but it's difficult. So we're just trying to make sure that even though you're just starting out your career, you're confident to answer questions, because it's fine if you don't know everything. Everybody does not know everything. Even
No.
people who are 19 years, 20 years into their careers, they don't know everything, because the world of tech, it changes every day. It changes every day. So it's okay if you do not know everything, but we just want to give you that confidence to face your career, to build, because in everything you do, if you are building a house, the foundation is the most important thing. Because if the foundation is not strong, how would that house be there for years to come? Okay. So we are going to be working on building real life project experience. And for this cohort, our first cohort, we do not need individuals who do not know, like if you want to pursue a career in cloud, you do not know the foundational knowledge of that cloud, like you do not know the foundational, maybe you are going for Microsoft Azure, you do not know the foundational knowledge of it. That is not, we're looking for people who have explored the tool, who have taken courses about it. Maybe it's Power Platform, you have taken courses, you have done something about it to gain the fundamental knowledge of it. So that when you are giving a task, even though you can't do it, you can research about it, because that is how the industry looks like. When you are given a task, you do not immediately just come that, okay, this I do not, you are definitely going to get an explanation that, okay, this is a task, this is what is happening here, go solve it. If there's something that you cannot solve, you can easily research about it, because this is also a skill that you will need in the industry. So we are going to be working on CV reviews. We are going to be helping with reviewing your CV to see if it's, because there's one thing to notice is that one thing that we have learned is that to be able to apply for a job, you need to make sure that the CV that you use to apply for job A is not the same CV that you are going to be using to apply for job B or for job C or job D. It's stressful, but you just have to make sure that your CV matches, at least matches 30% or 40% of that job description. So we are going to be doing all of that. And we're also going to be working on mock interviews where you have like a simulation of how especially for those who maybe they have not been to an interview, or they have been there and they have noticed the things that they are not good at. That one thing to also notice, one thing to learn is that it's okay to fail, but when you fail, try and notice the things that made you fail. Like if you go to an interview and something you notice from your interview is that you're not very confident, maybe you're stammering, or the interviewer is asking you questions and you cannot hear what the interviewer is saying. Those are the things to just pick notice of and be like, okay, so the next time, these are the things I need to work on. If an interviewer asks me a question and I did not hear them, I can say, please, can you repeat that? I did not get your question. Or you can, if the interviewer is asking you a question, the interviewer is like, okay, hi, Rachel, do you know how to work with Azure? And I just say yes. That does not, that does not work. You can't just say, yes, I work with Azure Cloud. You have to, after saying yes, you have to explain an example of how you have worked with Azure Cloud. So those are the things that we are going to be talking about. And also, we are going to be bringing in industry experts, like Joanne have said. We're going to be bringing in industry experts who are actually used to this technology. They are using this technology in their workplace. We're also going to be bringing recruiters to talk about how the industry looks like for recruiting, so that you can get the tips on, okay, if I'm applying for a job, these are the things I need to know in order to stand out. Okay. And our vision, our vision is to make sure that at least 80 to 50% of people in our cohorts get a job, get employment, and they are also able to grow in their careers and get all the necessary skills they need to strive in their career. Like, we are not just looking at the technical skills, the technical learning, you learning this, learning that. We are also looking at your soft skills. Because there's one something I say all the time is that if you want to go so far, like if you have a technical skills, it's fine. If you have a soft skills and a technical skills, it's going to take you to places that you never expected. Like, you are going to go so far into your career and you'll be like, how? How was this possible? It's your soft skills. It's good to have your technical skills, but imagine having your soft skills and your technical skills moving in line with each other, being able to communicate clearly, being able to collaborate with others. There are so many things to look at. You get? So these are very important, and these are the things that we are going to be looking at in Platform Explorers. Okay? And we're also going to be talking about expectations, how the business world looks like, especially for those who are just starting out their careers or they have just started their careers and they have questions. They'll be like, Rachel, or Johan, we have heard that when you join a company, you need to network. How can I go about
Oh,
it? Yeah, I have gotten a question. Somebody I mentor that has asked me a question like that. So we are going to be talking about how you can network with people in your company, because you don't just network outside, you have to also network inside of your company. We're going to be pointing things like that. We're going to be talking about how to build a personal brand for yourself. Like, if they are looking for somebody who is, maybe they are looking for a cloud engineer, or they are looking for an intern in a particular technology, and they are mentioning, okay, we are actually looking for this person. Do you have any idea of who we can call in? And somebody can just easily speak for you. I know this girl, I know this boy, I know this person. They post so much online, they have this particular, they know this technology, even though the person does not know so much about you, your name will be called, and that has to do with your personal brand. So we are going to be working on all of that, and we're going to pass it over to Joanne. Yeah.
yeah. Thank you. So, just before we proceed, I just wanted to ask, right? What is our understanding of, personal brand? So when you think of personal brand, what comes to your mind, and what's your understanding of that? So if you can just drop it you would see that we have a poll that's currently live. So if you can just drop your response in that poll. So when you think of your personal brand, when you think of your professional brand, like, what comes to mind? For me, I would say it's the way I manage people. right? The way I manage people and the way I'm able to reflect that by, posting about it on LinkedIn. You would notice, if you follow me on LinkedIn, you would notice that I don't just push for, like, try to drive awareness. Yes, exactly, visibility on your expertise. So I don't just try to drive awareness on my technical skills, but then I also try to drive awareness with regards to, like, things I do outside of work, right? So like volunteering and all of that, those plus one, we call them plus one activities, right? So that's like my own answer. But for you, what would you say, like, is personal brand? How does it reflect for you? So if you can just drop that in the chat. Okay. I can see Adewale and Guma typing. We just have like 1 or 2 minutes to get that, to get your responses. Ah, okay. Sorry to hear that, Ugoma. That's fine. You can always just drop it in the chat. If the poll isn't working, that's fine. Okay.
And I think for me, it's just showing my, like somebody has mentioned, just showing visibility of my expertise. And apart from that, you can just be sharing your journey to let people know about you, who you are, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like it's really interesting how just those little things, like, especially if, okay, yeah, Adewale says personal branding for me is putting myself out there such that one's knowledge and experiences are known. Exactly. So, like, it's just really about putting yourself out there. It's about, like, letting people, it's just like if you're selling, if you're an entrepreneur, right? You would notice that a lot of this, especially if you're working with international companies, they will tell you that we are looking for entrepreneurs. And why do they use that word? Because they believe that, if you're an entrepreneur and you're like, your livelihood is based off of you putting yourself out there, it's based off of you marketing and all of that. You're going to put your 101%, right? So they want that type of spirit as well, right? When you're in the workplace. So I can see responses like your niche, being genuine and true to oneself. Exactly. Thanks, Moses. So yes, so it's just really about you being yourself, putting yourself out there, even when it's difficult, because sometimes it's also like you want to be your own advocate, but you're like, isn't it going to look like I'm talking too much or I'm being too proud or something like that, right? Everyone has that sort of mindset, and you're just scared of really putting yourself out there. But really, it's really, really important. So at Platform Explorers, right? Our approach to delivering what Rachel and myself have mentioned previously is we want to focus on like two areas, right? So industry projects and then personal brand building, because those are two really important areas, aside of course your technical skills, right? So now you've learned the technical skills from whatever platform, from whatever community program and all of that, right? But then you need to now have that industry, the project experience, and then even more importantly, you need to actually publish what you're working on. You need to actually make a lot of noise about it. Let people know you for that thing. And when they think, oh, Power Platform, yep, Rachel is going to be the one to help us with that. Or when they think, oh, security or modern work, yeah, Juanita can help with that, and so on and so forth, right? So we would have individual project assignments with the use of cases. So with like use cases provided by coaches who have literally volunteered their time. So we really would ask, like, I ask for everyone who would be invited to be part of the first cohort would be, you know, take this seriously, because like Rachel said, our hope is to at least guide 50 to 80% of participants to their to getting the, should I say, their dream jobs, right? So, and then we would be connecting you with like helping you to grow your network with industry experts. So if you're not serious about it, there's no way you can get the best value, right, from the program. So we would have also like team projects, so trying to encourage teamwork and collaboration, because just like we mentioned previously, right, collaboration is core when you're working in, like when you're in the workspace, especially if you're looking at expanding your your reach, right, not just in your local market, but then looking at an international perspective, right? So collaboration is really key. Knowing how to communicate with people, especially when you get to work as a team, right, you need to have that communication flow like seamlessly. So that's one of the things that we are trying to help achieve. So like we mentioned also, mock interviews to help gauge participants' experience and areas of improvement. Then we cannot focus on just the industry projects, but then we also need to carry all of this alongside personal brand building. So this would help you to establish your brand as a technical professional. In our onboarding session, actually, we would be having a dedicated session on how would you like, what is LinkedIn? How can you start using LinkedIn, right? Because you'll be surprised, not a lot of people actually know how to use this platform, how to maximize it, how to look out for professionals. Like, I would say one of the major ways I use LinkedIn is if I'm interested in a certain industry or in a certain role, what I tend to do is that, you know, I what I tend to do is that I go on LinkedIn, I search for people who have those job roles, those job titles, and then I look, what are they doing? Right? What are they speaking about? What are they, what are their posts? What do their posts look like? Right? And then like, and also what sort of companies or what sort of people are they following? And then I start to reach out to those certain group of people as well, right? And the idea behind that is you're trying to get, it's almost like an indirect mentorship, because you're trying to like follow them, you're trying to get understand their perspective and all of that, right? And then of course we would also highly encourage you, it's actually one of the requirements from the program, with each project that you're working on, you would actually get to publish your project progress on social media platforms, either it's on LinkedIn or on X, depending on what works for you, right? If we can go to the next slide, please. Yeah. So before we move on to like our session on building confidence, I would pass on to Rachel to introduce the team.
Okay, yeah. So this is us. We are all the team in Platform Explorers, which is myself. I already introduced myself before. I'm a Power Platform and a Dynamics 365 CRM developer. I'm also venturing into cloud and DevOps. And I think recently I became a front-end developer. So, and Johan is amazing. So we are both co-founders of Platform Explorers. She currently works at Microsoft and she is in security and modern works. And then we have our special social media analyst. She helps us with posting online. She helps us with design. Also, Joanne, me, I'm very bad at designs. So Joanne and Judith, they help us with design, and Judith helps us with posting. So we are all together keeping the community going and growing. And also, she's also a digital marketing volunteer. You can just look for her and follow her online, or any of us. You can follow us on LinkedIn or on X. Okay?
Yes, please.
Yeah, definitely. And you can actually see how we are using our social media platforms. It can be a way for you to also learn from it. Yeah. Okay. So I think this is John. Building confidence. Yeah.
So yes, now into like the major topic for today, building confidence. I think we've even already started to touch on the topic as we've been progressing, right? So if we can go to the next slide. Now, I purposely put in this quote, right? Because I found out that normally when I'm learning something new, sometimes I just need some words of wisdom and then it like sticks in my head. I'm like, oh yeah, 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 that's true. So Carlton Fisk once said, it's not what you achieve, right? It's what you become. And that's what defines your career. Now, it's not about like, oh, okay, yeah, I've deployed, 1,000 servers, or I have helped to set up, this XYZ policies, or helped to secure this platform and all of that. What's the point in doing all of that if it doesn't really reflect in who you are, right, as a professional? And how when we say reflect in who you are, how you confidently carry yourself, right? You're able to like speak about your journey, speak about your growth and your progress, without feeling less of yourself, or without feeling like, oh, okay, maybe I'm doing too much, or maybe there's something missing and all of that, right? And we should know it's normal to have that feeling, right? Almost everyone I've come across will tell you, like, I have experienced like imposter syndrome, or felt like I shouldn't really be putting myself too much out there, or maybe I'm doing too much, maybe I'm not doing enough, and all of that. It's normal, right? So, but then for you to get to that point where you have it's a constantly evolving journey. It's not like you don't just wake up one day and say, oh yes, I have all the confidence in the world. Nah, like every single day you have to like wake up and be intentional about it. Like, yep, I am going to, even if it's really difficult, even if I'm not really sure what I'm saying and all of that, right, I'm going to try to put in my best, and sort of push that idea of being confident. So if we go to the next slide. Oh yes, thank you, thanks Rachel for that. So we have a poll, right? What's your greatest challenge as a tech professional? So when you think about, like, either you're switching careers into tech, or you're switching into, like, you're trying to move to a new area in technology, but like, what would you say is your greatest challenge at the moment? Because everyone's challenge is unique. For me, and then what you'll find out, that at every level in your career you would face a new challenge. It doesn't stop. Sorry, we're living human beings. The world is constantly evolving, technology is constantly evolving, so there would usually always be something new to replace your previous fears. So when you think of your greatest challenge, what would that be? For me, I would say my greatest challenge has been, I'm in a new role at Microsoft, and my new challenge, yeah, not my new challenge at the moment, is being able to reflect. Because when I stand at any, like, when I come into any meeting, everyone is like, oh yeah, this is Microsoft, and they're all looking and hanging on to what you have to say. So I always have that, feel that pressure, like I need to say the right things. So that's my new challenge. I'm currently working on, like, building more confidence in that area, right? So yeah, Lucy says learning new modules in Dynamics 365. Moses says building confidence. We have some responses in the poll already. Someone says getting new skills. um okay, Adewale says he's transitioning into tech, so challenge now is understanding this, the space itself. Exactly. So yeah, so that's good, right? So everyone faces challenges one way or the other. Like, it doesn't really stop as you progress along your career, right? But then what matters is the way you approach those challenges, right? So yeah, we just have like some tips on how to build confidence, as a professional. So if we can go to the, if we can, yeah. Oh yeah, Ugoma says challenge is having experience. Yes. So I hear you. I hear you really. So yes, so we have like some tips on how to like build confidence in your career. So one of the top tips is set achievable goals. This is something that even for me till today, I'm still trying to work on that, right? So once you set your mind on what you're trying to achieve in your career, it's always good to actually write it down, right? So what exactly in XYZ period, maybe in Q1, this is where I want to be, or these are the type of tasks I want to carry out and all of that, right? So actually break down your larger career objectives into smaller manageable goals. So if you're saying that, okay, I want to get experience, for example, how can you get started? You could probably, like, if you've not gotten a job yet, for example, right, you can engage in community programs like this one, right? So where, and the another thing was, we actually saw the gap because we saw that there were lots of technical training programs, but then not so much on building the actual experience that people can reference to at interviews, right? So if you're saying your challenge is having experience, then first of all, you need to say, okay, what is my area of focus in technology, right? You need to carry out your research. You need to do your basic training. So, okay, I'm going on LinkedIn Learning, or I'm going on Coursera, or I'm joining like this, free upskilling program, right? So that's one step, right? I've achieved that. Now, what's the next step? The next step would probably now be, oh, okay, maybe I sign up for like a volunteer engagements where I get to help to solve a business problem, or even if it's not like an actual business problem, right? So literally break down your objectives to smaller manageable goals. Seek feedback. This is one thing that has always worked for me in all of my areas of like in my career, really. So I always ask for feedback from peers, from mentors, from supervisors. You want to see, are you really like in your head you feel like a superstar, but then you want to be sure that other people also think you're that good, right? So, and then it's not just about looking for positive feedback, it's also looking for constructive feedback, like, okay, this is how I could do better, right? So in my time with Avanade, my time even with Microsoft now, um, we have what we call like the feedback. It's almost like a template, right? So you can send requests for feedback from your managers, from your peers, and then you're asking, okay, what am I doing well? What could I improve on? Right. And then like overall feedback, right? And you really want to use that to work on improving as a professional. Then when we say continuous learning, you want to stay curious, keep learning, because the world of technology is constantly evolving. You literally need to be on top of your game. But then try not to put so much pressure on yourself, because the same way you're trying to keep or keep on top of or stay on top of recent updates, other people are also experiencing the same thing, right? So you just need to, what helps really is participating in communities like this, where we're able to share knowledge. You're having people share that burden of understanding what is happening in the industry, right? And when you're able to participate like that, or actively go ahead to look for new challenges, look for new tasks and all of that, right? You're able to now grow as that professional. So Rachel, do you want to proceed with the others?
Yeah, sure, I do. Okay, I think this is you, but
Oh
I'm going to
no,
go ahead. Yeah, don't
we
worry.
still have some tips.
We do?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, okay. Okay, so
Yeah,
we
the second
have
stage.
practicing self-care. It's very important, especially when you come into tech. I see a lot of posts online on social media when they talk about there's money in tech, there's money in tech, there's money in tech, there's money in tech. There is money in tech, but when you are just starting, it's a little bit difficult. But when you are growing in your career, there is money in tech. There's money in any industry. But one thing you need to know is that you need to make sure you are taking care of yourself. You have time to relax, to chill. Your mental health, it's like you are comfortable, you're not running through sleepless nights, just especially when you're just starting out, you're only reading. Okay, maybe I'm getting better at that, but yeah, reading, working. You don't have time to chillax, to spend time with family or friends, or to even watch movies. Can just be simple things. So you just have to take care of yourself. And in this tech industry, self-love is very, very important in your career. It's very, very, very important. As you are growing, try not to compare yourself with others. Even though you started your journey with somebody at the same time and they are excelling more than you, or they are doing things differently than you, don't compare yourself with them. Everybody has their own different journeys. So just when you see things getting better for people, just say, okay, if this person can achieve this, meaning this is possible, and I can be confident in my own journey, that what I have set for myself, I can actually achieve it. Don't forget to eat your meals. Don't be just stuck in one place reading, doing things, and you forget to eat. You need to eat. Don't get ulcer because of tech. Take care of your food. Take care of your food, eat if possible, please eat. And also try to sleep, because when you are more for those, maybe those who are coding, like maybe you're doing any programming language, there are sometimes that you notice that when you're looking at a code, you can't see anything, what you can't see what is wrong with that code. Like, you're looking at it, but you're not seeing anything wrong with it. But when you sleep and then you come back, you'll be like, okay, it's just a dot or it's just a space that's making this code not running. So you just have to take care of yourself, take care of your mental health, because if you are sick, you'll not be able to, if you're not okay, you'll not be able to work or to do whatsoever you want to do. So please take care of yourself and love yourself. As you're learning your journey, as you're going forward, choosing a career path, building experience, self-love, take care of yourself. And then the next one we have is celebrate your success. No matter how small, it can just be that you completed the learning part or you completed a complete blog. Celebrate it, because it's not easy. Even though you completed a course, maybe a 3 hours course, a 20 minutes course, a 1 hour course online, maybe on LinkedIn, on Udemy, whatsoever place that you have completed it, celebrate it, because it's not easy. There are people, at least I can give myself as an example. I have a lot of courses on Udemy that I have not finished. So if you have, so if there's anything that you do, celebrate it. It can just be it can be that, okay, maybe you joined platform explorers cohorts, celebrate it. Anything you are doing, just celebrate it. It can be so small, but it's a big achievement. No matter how small you think it is, don't download yourself. Don't think that, oh, this thing is too small, there's nothing to celebrate here. Please celebrate it. It's very important. And also, you can see recognizing your progress can boost your self-esteem and motivate you to keep going. And there's one thing I've also noticed is that affirmations, like affirmations in the way that you say good things about yourself. You'll be like, I'm the best security engineer I have ever seen in this world. I'm the this, I'm the that. I have in May this year, I have already gotten a job. I have so much experience. I have this, I have that. Because it helps you, even though things are going so bad, even though things are very difficult, the word of the mouth is very, very important. So just help yourself, build yourself, and also you have to be your biggest supporter. Advocate for yourself. Tell people what you are doing. Advocate for yourself, no matter how small. Advocate for yourself. Okay. And we have embrace challenges. Any challenges that you are facing should be your superpower. If it's a challenge that you do not have a laptop and you are using your phone to learn, that should be a standard to you. That should be your superpower. You can talk about it online, like, this is what I learned today using my phone. I do not have a laptop. And when I started my journey in tech, the laptop I was using then, if there is no light to plug the laptop, my laptop will not go on. No
You
light,
had a screen.
no light, no learning. So I had to walk around, because I was in Benin then. I had to go around from places to places to charge my phone. I was sleeping in school to be able to read. I was talking about it online, and somebody reached out to me on Twitter and asked me, Rachel, this is kind of laptop you will get. This is the criteria of this laptop that you need to get, and this is the money to get it. So people can help you online. Even when I was not having light, somebody sent me money to. It's not compulsory that people will send you money, but you are doing something. Somebody sent me money to buy a, what do they call this thing now? That does not have, that you don't use with lights. That you can either charge it or charge it with lights. You can charge it with
um
solar.
oh, yeah, the solar panel.
Yeah, solar panel. Somebody sent me money to buy solar panel. I got lights, like normal lamp, stuff like that. I was like broke. So I'm just trying to give you different examples that your challenges should be your superpower. Even if there are some challenges where you might have difficulties with learning, Like maybe when you learn something and you're having issues with understanding it, it's fine. It happens to a lot of people. Yeah, maybe you went through a course and you have difficulties with understanding what you have learned. You can reach out to people. That's why I love tech so much. There are so many people in the community who are willing to, they are very nice. They are willing to answer your questions. You can just connect with people, reach out to them. I'm learning this, or you can even post it on Twitter. I'm learning this and I do not understand. People will be happy to help you. And also, if you go through the course and you see that you do not understand, you can go through it again for the second or third time just to get the point to see what you are missing. So, whatsoever challenges you are facing, just move ahead. Move ahead. It should not be that challenge should not be what is stopping you. It should never be what is stopping you. It should be a motivation for you to move forward, to grow your career, to make sure that if it's money that's the difficulty, if it's data that's the difficulty, if it's a laptop, whatever it is, make it your motivation that I'm doing this just to cross to cross this out, to be able to give a story tomorrow that okay, this is the situation I faced, or this is how my journey started, or whatsoever you are doing. Please, your challenges should not be what is stopping you from achieving your goals or growing your career, because nobody is going to wake you at 12 o'clock in the night to tell you that you should do this. Nobody's going to ask you during the day that what have you done with yourself? What have you done with your career? You have yourself to ask. You have yourself to ask. So just be your biggest supporter, be your biggest advocate. And we have staying positive. So maintain a positive attitude and focus on your strengths. So you might be growing your career right now and you have noticed the things that you have weaknesses on. Those things might be communicating clearly. You have issues with communicating clearly. You have issues with learning. You have issues with understanding a particular feature or understanding a particular technology. Think about the positive sides of it first. Like, what are you excelling in right now? Are you excelling in just opening your laptop? It's hard opening your laptop in the morning. So, are you excelling at opening your laptop? Are you excelling at volunteering at events? Is there something that you are excelling at? Think about that. And then think about your weaknesses. Like, how can I improve this? If I'm having issues with communicating clearly, or people are telling me that I speak too fast, people are telling me that they can't hear me, or whatsoever the feedback might be, how can I improve this? How can I make it better? It's a gradual process, but you can definitely change that. And if it's something that you cannot change, self-love, love yourself. Just take it. It's fine. Nobody is perfect. You get me? So just
Yeah.
Yeah. So just be focused on your positive and also any weaknesses that you have. Just work on it, gradually work on it. It might take a year, it might take 2 years, but you know that you are working on it. Okay. So and remove anything of self-doubt, anything that is telling you that okay, I do not know so much that I'll be into tech. People have told me that people that get into tech, they are very brilliant, they know this, they know maths, they know this, they know that. That's not true. And you don't have to study, you don't have to take a technical course in school, like maybe computer science or whatsoever in school to get into the careers in tech. You don't have to go to school to be in a career in tech. Because in tech, what they just want to know is that do you know how to do this? Are you ready to learn if you do not? Like, are you ready to learn if you do not? Are you confident to learn this tool, even though you don't know it right now? They're just looking at your skills and your experience. Nobody is really, really looking at your background. Nobody is looking at where you came from, who you are, who your parents are, who nobody looks at that. They're just looking at your skills and experience. Okay. And
Very true.
yeah. And then we have the Microsoft 365 developer program. So I'm going to let Johan explain this.
Okay, so mindful of our time, I'll just quickly run through this. Um, so the developer program, if you notice, if you signed up for the Platform Explorers cohort, you would have noticed that we asked if you already have a trial tenant, or like a test tenant that you could use, because that's one of the requirements actually for the um to participate in our cohort. You need to already have a test environment that you can use for the project's assignment. So if you can just go to the next page. So the developer program would be particularly helpful for people on the modern work, the Microsoft 365 track, and then also those for the security track, right?
Yeah.
Because it actually gives you a Microsoft 365 E5 developer subscription with like 25 user licenses that you can use to carry out like various tasks. You can use it to test and all of that,
Mm.
right? So as you can see, one of the requirements is to sign up. When signing up for the program, you would require a Microsoft account, or that's a personal Microsoft account actually, or a Visual Studio ID. It's really straightforward to set up. If you can go to the next page. So when you visit the link that we have referenced here, so developer.microsoft.com, this is only relevant for those who do not have, the
Yeah.
developer accounts and have indicated interest in the program. So even if you do not start with this first cohort, I would highly, recommend that you set up a developer account, and you just start to work, like play around with the environment, get to understand some of the features and co. So when you click on the link, or when you visit the link and you try to sign up, right? When you select the join now, so you can now put in your details, your country, company, or since it's personal, you can just put in like your name or something.
Yeah.
And then you get to also select what are you using the account for. So for us, it would be personal projects, right? If you click on next, yeah, so then you get to select the areas of Microsoft 365 that you are interested in. So you can see we even have Copilot for Microsoft 365 as an option. Then you get
Mm.
to put, like, you select the areas that pertain to you, and then you can put in your phone number for verification. And once you walk through all of the steps, right, it then provides you with admin details. So details to log into your environment and then start to start to, configure as required. So for people who are completely new to tech, and then you're interested in either the modern work track or the security track, particularly for Microsoft technology, you can, like, we highly recommend that you sign up for the developer program, and then
Yeah.
you're able to actually practice your learning. So yeah.
Okay. So the next one we have is setting up a GitHub account. So we are going to be using this. And for those who will not be joining the first cohort, we also encourage you to create to create a GitHub account. So the GitHub account is going to be used for individuals to showcase their projects. So maybe you are in an interview, or inside of your CV, you can actually add the link to you can add the link to that project inside of your GitHub, inside of your CV, like your documents. You can add it there, and the interviewer can click on it and they can see what you have done. So it does not have to be something technical to use GitHub. It can be that you built, like maybe you did something on security where you created roles or you added users. You can just add a screenshot of those things that you have done and a explanation of what you were doing and what you were trying to solve. You add it inside of a GitHub repository. So in Platform Explorers, we are going to be using GitHubs to write our use cases, like use case of what particular problem a student is trying to solve. And then the student can go to that particular GitHub repository, see the problem, see every detailed information they need after their mentor for that track have explained. Then when they need to submit their assignments, they have to create a repo and have a detailed explanation. They have to like clone or fork that repository and then explain what they have done, and also come online on social media to just either a screenshot of videos of what they have, a screen video of what they have done, and then a link to their GitHub repository. Because all of these things also helps with attracting attracting recruiters. So with posting all of these things, recruiters can reach out to you, or even somebody can reach out to you for a freelancing opportunity to ask you that, please, can you, this thing that you have solved, can you solve it for my business? Can you solve it for my company? I'm going to pay you for it. Because there's actually an opportunity that I got on LinkedIn that was I just started my career then. I was like 2 or 3 months into my career, and somebody reached out to me. I wrote a blog post. It was very simple. I wrote a blog post, and somebody reached out to me like, Rachel, this thing you did to Power Automate, can you build it for me? And I'm going to pay you per hour. So stuff like that, you can just build stuff and post online, and people can reach out to you. I'm not saying it's compulsory, but most times people can reach out to you and ask you if you can do that for them. And also it can stand for you as a project experience. Like somebody asks you, do you know how to do this? How have you worked with this? How have you worked with this too? You have a written evidence of what you have done on your GitHub repository. So we do not have much time. Should I go ahead with our next steps?
Yes, please.
Okay, so our next steps is that we already shared a form where people have filled in, but there's one thing I want to let you know that just in case if you did not get the form, like you did not fill the form, that is fine. We have our monthly spotlight sessions where we invite industry experts to talk about different areas in tech, to talk about their experience, where you also get the opportunity to connect and network with them. So we are going to be doing that every month. So you can join us, even though you did not fill the form to join our first cohort. And we also have other cohorts that you can be a part of. So for our first cohort in Platform Explorers, we have shared the form and the form has been closed. So we are going to be sending out emails in the coming week for those who have joined the cohorts. We had 142 responses, and application received in modern workplace, we had 55, in cybersecurity 19, Dynamics 365 7, Power Platform we had 5, product management we have 12, cloud computing we had 34 and 18. So we had the applications received. We are going to be selecting from these numbers to join the cohort because we want the numbers as little as possible so that we can be able to concentrate on each person and make sure that what we are trying to achieve, that is achieved in each and every person's career or whatsoever they are doing. So we are going to be sending an emails out for that. And the criteria for those who fill the form, the criteria that is going to be making it possible for people to join the program, for those who have laptops right now, maybe in the coming, maybe a year to 2 years, we'll try creating opportunities where people can, for those who do not have laptops, we try and create opportunities where they can get laptops to learn. But for right now, for those who do not have laptops, they will not be able to join the program because it's a hands-on project, both for product management, power platform, cloud computing. And right now, these are the tracks that we are currently focusing on. We are going to be focusing more on different career paths as the years goes. But right now, this is according to the numbers we got. And so with the numbers we got, these are who we are going to be focusing on. And we are also, for those who selected Power Platform, for those who selected Modern Workplace, Cybersecurity, you have to have a Microsoft 365 developer program account to be able to join the this cohort. And if you did not join the cohort, that is fine. We have a wait list. Okay. So we actually have a wait list where once the first cohort is done, we are going to be sending out emails to bring in the second cohort. That is for those who have already filled the form before. We are going to bring them in for the second cohort. So if you do not get an email telling you that you have been accepted into the cohort, it is fine. You are definitely going to get the opportunity to join the second cohort. And if you get an email to join the first cohort, if you think that is something that you cannot be active in, you can let us know and we'll just drop you, pick somebody else, and you can join the next cohort. because this program, we are going to be spending a lot of our time, our personal time. It's not a paid opportunity, it's free. So we are going to be spending a lot of our personal time. We really want you to be active. We really want you to, when you are given a project to work on, we want you to work on it on your individual project. When you are added to a team, when you're added to a team, we want you to, when you're added to a team, we want you to actually be active in that team and do your part. So you can see our timeline. We have application received. We have reviewed the applications. This is our first spotlight session. So the next thing is that we're going to be sending invites where they are going to be added to a WhatsApp group. And also we have the second one, which is review and spotlight sessions. We are going to be having, at the end of it, we are going to be giving out certificates. We are going to be showing you what to do. And we have a very short time. Okay, I'm going to be ending now, but we have where the cohort begins. We are just going to be showing you everything that is going to be happening for the onboarding. We are going to be giving out team projects. At the end of it, each team is going to be doing their presentation of what they have done. There may be individual projects too. We are going to bring people from different parts of the world to join the call. So you might even get a job opportunity from those calls. So, okay. So do you have any question? I think we are 9
Yes,
minutes
please.
past the call.
Yeah, sorry that we have gone a bit past, but yes, Luciano, you have a question?
Yeah, good morning, everybody,
Yeah.
and thank you for the opportunity. Yeah, thank you for your time as well. Right. Although in the course of your last speech, you've answered some questions I had in mind, but I would like to ask, what's the time frame for the cohorts? Right? Is it 1 month learning, 2 months, 3 months? I'd like to know that so that I can know how it fits to my own schedule. Secondly, I was just going through the email and I saw different timing, right? The APAC time, EMEA, and AMA timing for the cohort. So I want to ask a question because basically I'm asking so so as I will know how to manage my own time because this is something I would really like to participate in. Now, I actually work in the Nuam region, right? So, with the timing, I've actually done the conversion of all timing to the West African time, and somehow, it's kind of clashing, right, with my own time. So, I would like to know if, for instance, let's say today I can join the EMEA time, tomorrow I'm free to join the APAC time, or is it that when I pick, for instance, the EMEA time, it's I'm going to stick strictly to the EMEA time? And if yes, for a day, how many hours am I um looking at? How many hours do I need to spend? For instance, I can see the EMEA timing is 5 p.m., right? Which is 5 p.m. GMT, which is 4 p.m. currently. So if it's 4 p.m., 4 p.m. till when? Is it 4 p.m. till 6, 4 p.m. till 7? So I need to know all this timing so that I will know how to put it into my own schedule and participate actively. Thank you.
Okay. The cohort is for 3 months, right, John? The cohort
Yes,
is for
that's
three
correct.
months. You're going to be building individual projects and then at the end of it, team projects. Then for the hours, you're going to be working on the first thing is individual projects. So you're going to be having a once in a week call with your mentor where the mentor is going to set a time. So the calls are going to be recorded. So if you do not meet that call, you can watch it online. And if you have any questions, there are going to be different group chats for different tracks. So you have to ask your team members questions on the group chats. You understand? If you have any questions, maybe you do not meet the call, you can ask your group members questions on, okay, I do not understand this. Does anybody have any explanation? You can drop it on the group chat. And if we see it, we can also reply your question. And when you say the time, I do not understand the 5 to 7 p.m. But if you do not meet any call, if you do not meet if you do not meet any call, you have to if you do not meet any call, you have to make sure that you watch the recording. The only thing we ask from you is that while you are in the cohort, you need to deliver. If we give you a task to do and the task is given for a week, you have to, if the task is given to you and you have a week to complete that task, you have to work on the task. At least you can give yourself 2 hours in a day, or an hour in a day, or 4 hours or 5 hours in a week to complete the task. And if you have any questions, you just have to research about it and also ask your team members about it. So that is just basically it. Because we understand
Yeah.
everybody is busy. Yeah, so
Okay, and just to add, we've actually not yet sent out invites for the first cohort.
yes,
Yes, so in terms of the timing would be determined by the coach for each track.
yes,
So, we're working with because it's voluntary, they're actually dedicating their time to put you through whatever, like to, guide you through whatever track you might be on, right? So the timing for every class would be determined by the coach, right? So, like Rachel said, we would love to have like 100% participation, right? So whoever gets a chance to be a part of a track, we would really love to have you active as possible. And if you wouldn't be as active, then you can opt in to join another cohort. But then it's just going to be like the method we're using is you would have like a 1 hour session with your coach on the weekend, and then during the week you can work on the use case that has been assigned to you at your own free time, right? Then the following weekend, when you meet up again with your mentor or coach, then you can now like showcase what have you done, what challenges did you have during the week. You can also drop your challenges in the chat and all of that, right? So yes, so it's going to be as like it's your own time basically on weekdays. Our ask is just once you receive your invite, and you are able to join the weekend classes, like join the weekend sessions, you're able to participate 100% on those sessions, so that your coach can also see that, as an individual, you are serious about, being a part of that cohort. So yeah, I
yeah,
hope that answers your question.
yeah.
Do we have any other question, please?
Thank you.
Thanks.
I think somebody raised their hands before. Do you still have any
Yeah.
question? Okay. I think we did too good that we have no question.
And then
Yeah.
Ugoma, yeah, like I said, we haven't sent out the invites yet, so who knows? And everything where the invites are being sent on a, should I say, first come first serve basis.
Yeah.
So it's based on, because we sent out registration links, so it's based on the top people who responded. Then the top 5 get the invites. If we do not get confirmation from them, then it goes to the next set of people in the wait list. So yeah, so everyone still stands a chance. And at the end of the day, even if you don't get to participate in this first cohort, we would still have subsequent ones. So yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yes, and I think somebody had a question. So somebody asked a question. My challenge is selecting the right technical skills, which I'll be good at. I'm new in this space. So for right now, what I would advise you to take your time and look for what area in tech. There are so many areas in tech that you can go into. There are also areas in tech that are not technical, that you do not need technical skills to be there.
Mm-hmm.
You can look at them. So just go around, feel free, ask questions in areas that you are interested in. You can reach out to people who are actually in those areas of expertise, ask them how their day looks like, what they are doing, how does the career path look like, what do they enjoy in being in that career path. Then you can use it to determine what you want to go for. So I'm talking to Johnson. You can use it to determine what area in tech you want to go for. And when you decide what area in tech you want to go for, I advise you to start taking courses, start watching YouTube videos, and building projects alongside. Platform Explorers is going to be here for a very long time. So when you are ready, because we do not work with teaching, Like we do not work with teaching for that fundamental knowledge. We don't
Yes.
have classes to teach you fundamental knowledge. All we are trying to do, we're trying to bridge the gap between what you have already learned before, like what you already know before. We're trying to move you forward to understanding how the industry experience looks like when you get a job, what to expect, or
Exactly.
when you're an interview, things to things to talk about to let them know that yes, I understand this. You get.
Yeah.
So because when you are negotiating money, they'll be like, you just started, you don't know. You
Of
can be
course.
like, I have worked with this too. I know what I'm saying. This is the money I want. Get. So those are
Yeah.
the things that we are trying to achieve. Yeah. So thank you.
Okay, so thank you all so much for joining us today. We appreciate your time. And for those who registered for our first cohort, look out for our email sometime this week, inviting you to partake in the exercise. So thank you all very much. Enjoy your weekend. Please go out, stretch your legs, have fun. Don't just press your laptop. Self-love, guys. All right.
Yeah. And if you have a question, you can send us an email at
Yes.
info@platformexplorers.com. Follow us on Platform Explorers and also follow us on Twitter at Plat Explorers. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah.